where you are. From all of us, good night.
Hello, a very good evening to you. We start tonight with some breaking news. 2 men have been seriously injured in an explosion at a house in Birmingham. The emergency services are on the scene in Aldersmead Road, West Heath, after they were called just after 8 o'clock this evening. Well, joining us now in the studio is our reporter Ben Sidwell. Ben, what more can you tell us?
Well, as you can imagine, details are pretty sketchy at the moment, but we do have some information. We do know that just after 8 o'clock this evening, there was an explosion at this flat in Aldersmead Road in West Heath. Now, that is in South Birmingham. Emergency services say they got their first call at 8:12, and they've had multiple 999 calls. Now, 2 men believed to be in the property at the time have been seriously injured. They're both thought to be in their late 20s or early 30s. They've been taken to hospital. Now, the cause and extent of the damage, that's currently being assessed by emergency services. Also, emergency gas crews are there at the moment. People in the area, they're being told they can return to their homes if the emergency services say it's currently safe to do so.
And I understand you've spoken to one eyewitness. What do they have to say?
I did. I spoke to one man. He's actually sent us a video of the scene. Now, he said he was walking the dogs at the end of the road, and basically he said it was like a bomb had gone off. There was a huge flash that lit up the sky and the ground shook. He actually thought it was an earthquake at first because of the way it shook. He said there's debris all across the road. There's a lot of dust there as well. He did say the emergency services were there within a couple of minutes, but he said if you go and look at the house, he actually went to look at the front of the house and the explosion was so big that he could see straight through that house to the houses right behind it. So obviously very severe.
OK, Ben, thank you very much indeed. And we hope to have more on this story in tomorrow morning's breakfast bulletins. Moving on to other news now, and a father of 2 from Birmingham who has leukaemia is calling for more British Asians to join the bone marrow register. 25-year-old Inderpal Singh has undergone several rounds of chemotherapy and has been told he needs a life-saving transplant within the next 3 months. But a national shortage of Asian donors means his chances of finding a match are limited. Elizabeth Glinker reports.
Inderpal Singh was diagnosed with cancer just over a year and a half ago. His most recent round of chemotherapy ended on Friday and has left him very weak.
I've got a 1-year-old daughter, and if the worst was to ever happen, she would not remember me. My son, he's everything to me. To think of them to grow up without a father figure or anything like that, it kills me. It kills me inside.
Finding a matching blood marrow donor is difficult, whoever you are. But if you're a British Asian, then it's even more difficult. In fact, your chances are lower than 50%. That's why it's so important that members of the community are prepared to come forward and put their names on the register.
To try and beat the odds, Inderpal and his family have launched a campaign on social media. The charity Delete Blood Cancer is working to try and recruit more donors from ethnic minorities.
It's really simple to be a donor. It's a very easy process. They go into the hospital for 1 day for between 4 and 6 hours, and they come out having done something amazing.
For Inderpal, one new name on the register could be the difference between life and death.
Please register, go on the website, just fill the test out and send it back, and you could save not only my life, this will happen to someone else in the future, unfortunately, and I wouldn't want them to go through what I'm going through at the moment.
The family hopes that the community is listening. Elizabeth Glinker, BBC Midlands Today, Birmingham.
A fresh inquiry is to be held into the death of a Birmingham schoolgirl who was stabbed on a bus by a paranoid schizophrenic. Christina Edkins was killed in March 2013 by Philip Simmerlane, who wasn't being properly monitored by mental health services. NHS England has confirmed a review will take place after Christina's family campaigned for the full facts to be made public. Well, moving on to the weather forecast now with Charlie Slater.
Good evening to you. The temperature's really falling through the floor tonight. That's because we've got no cloud there to trap any of the heat in. So look out for some freezing fog and maybe some frost as well for first thing on Monday morning as the temperatures really do fall. These are your values in your towns and cities. Get out into the countryside. It will be colder than that, maybe as low as -3, -4 degrees Celsius. If we get that fog out of the way relatively quickly, tomorrow's not going to be a bad day at all. Largely dry, occasionally bright and sunny. Those temperatures only getting to about 7 degrees Celsius though, but it beats Tuesday when it's only 5 degrees.
Well, that's all from the late team. Midlands Today will be back tomorrow morning during breakfast. Good night for now.